Hey everybody, I'm Neal Marshall and welcome to Gate 24. Now when you hear that expression, you're probably thinking of an airport gate, right? A place where maybe strangers would gather to board a flight towards some unknown destination somewhere. Well, for me, Gate 24 is something different. It's really more of a metaphor for the journeys we all take in life, the choices, the detours, the turbulence, and all of the unexpected landings that shape who we become. And this podcast, it was born from a deeply personal moment in 2013, as many friends have heard ad nauseum. I suffered sudden cardiac arrest, VFib, and for 90 seconds, my heart stopped and I was gone, clinically dead for almost 2 minutes. But I came back. And this is not a story about me or my heart attack, I promise you that. This experience changed just about everything in my life. It became a catalyst, if you will. It lit a fire for me to live more urgently, more honestly, and find purpose. And it reminded me of something essential, that we're all walking through a gate every day, in essence, stepping into new chapters, often without knowing even where they're going to lead. So Gate 24 isn't really about the perfect success stories. This is about resilience and reinvention and the courage to keep going, even when the map runs out, runs dry. And some of our journeys are about survival, some are about chasing dreams, pursuing dreams, and many are about quietly finding meaning in the middle of chaos. And that's exactly the kind of journey that Gate 24 is about. Not just what we do, but why we do it. The spark that keeps us going when life gets hard. So let's get on board together. This is Gate 24, Life Now Boarding, Unscripted Journeys. My very first guest, I am so honored to say, is someone that I've known, my gosh, for over 20 years, Rain Pryor. And many of you know Rain as an actress from Head of the Class or Rude Awakening, or maybe you've seen her award-winning solo show, Chicken Latkes. Well, Rain's also an author. She's a singer, a director, and a truth teller whose life and art have crossed continents and stages. And of course, she's the daughter of the legendary comedian Richard Pryor. But beyond all of that, for me, Rain is a very dear friend. Over 2 decades, we have shared incredible highs, seen each other through some pretty challenging lows, and like so many relationships, sometimes drifting in different directions, but only to return to a solid course of love and support. And that bond is what makes today's conversation so special, because it's really a reminder to me that the relationships we hold on to through life's storms really become our truest anchors. So let's bring on Rain Pryor. Rain Pryor, I am so thrilled that you are here, that you're part of this new adventure that I have. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. I love you.
So I love you too. And I don't know that people realize, like, 20 years is quite a history, and it feels like it was just yesterday, really.
It sure, you know what it sure does. And I was just telling someone what brought me to
Yeah.
Baltimore. And I talked about you.
I mean, if you
Talked about
did,
you and a 20 something year old.
yeah, exactly. And it's like how kismet, and and that's part of what I'm talking about too in this podcast, is how sort of letting go and letting life take you where it needs to go and not controlling it. And also, some things are going to happen the way they're supposed to happen, and you don't realize it while you're going through it,
No, you don't. You don't. And sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's beautiful,
Yeah.
sometimes it's all of the things at once. Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to just, sort of let people know a little bit about you. I mean, obviously your bios are out there, your work is out there. You've won all sorts of awards as you were an actress. You are an actress. You were an actress as a child performer. You have been a producer. You are a producer. You've got movies you're making. You are a teacher. You give back so much, and even your posts on your social media, of course, we'll put links and all of that, is to inspire people. You post messages all the time that are so beautiful, that are so uplifting for people, that not everyone realizes that there is hope, there is light. Sometimes it can be very dark, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of our existence here is, there's this sense, and especially now, I feel like there's this sense of where we have to recognize the truth that we're sitting in, whether it's
Hmm.
emotionally, whether it's our politics in the world, whatever. We have to sit in it, recognize it, and also not lose our spiritual sense of self within it. And allow ourselves to be happy in the moments, to be grateful in the moments, to appreciate life,
Hmm.
even when there is opposition or struggle or
Hmm.
difference of what it looks like.
Right.
You still have to have, because that's hope, right? That's where we hold hope. And I feel like I find that more with our younger people,
Hmm.
um, because they so have it figured out more than we do, believe it or not.
I wonder, you think about it
Yeah.
because their technology, like just talking about age, like I still feel like I'm 20 something. I still feel like a kid.
Right.
And when I was younger, I used to think about older people like my grandparents, and they were very trying to conform, and that was old to me. And I'm older than I remember my grandparents being, and yet it's so fast, and it's like I wish I could tell these young people, but how do they cope in a world with the technologies that we didn't have and with everything,
I
like you
think
say?
I think they're used to it. I think that's the whole thing. It's a different generation. So they're
Yeah.
used to their gadgets. They're used to constant
Hmm.
online. They're used to this strange way of communication. And we're the ones adapting to it, because we get stuck in our way and our vision. We're the generation, at least many of us are of the generation of we went outside and played until the lights came up and went back in the house, right?
Right,
Their whole
right.
thing is we're on our phones until they die, and then we panic. So it's like it is. It's just a different way of experiencing the world, and I learned so much from them because I really feel our younger generation has a bead on the future that we don't have. And it's exciting to me. I got to teach a class of ninth graders yesterday and
Hmm.
hearing their ideas about film and where the industry is going to go from their, ninth grade minds. And I was excited because I think they're the change in the world. They're the ones to bring this new sense of joy and vision, you know.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And it's exciting to hear because you sort of wonder with, I'm not getting into politics on my show here, but
Yeah, no.
the world in such turmoil in so many different ways, no matter what your faith or beliefs are, religious or political, whatever, there's a lot of turmoil and we're trying to navigate that. And this seems to be, if you look at history, there's always been constant turmoil. Some areas have been quieter, some have been crazier. So how have you found in your own life, you've had challenges, you've had health issues, like myself, I talk about my heart attack. It changed my perception on life, on the world. You've been through serious health. How did you find ways to make it through some of those darker, tougher times? What was it that you found that helped you?
The thing that's really helped me has been my spiritual focus, which is rooted in West African Ifa,
Mm.
mysticism and spirituality. So for me, that has really guided me because I find a lot of truth. It's not, I don't have to open a book to find the verse that resonates with me. I practice. It's a hands-on practice for me. So in that, it allows me to kind of sit through the hard moments. The last year for me has been very difficult on many levels. But I don't know, it doesn't stop me. Like it gets hard, but I keep going. It's like your life, to me, is the marathon. It ends when it ends. So you might as well climb up the hill and use all your strength and do it when your feet hurt, do it when your back hurts, and you keep going. And if you need to rest, you rest. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's where we get consumed in the world is we forget we can rest. For me, my cancer, my breast cancer, my heart, disease, all of it has allowed me to make the excuse for myself, oh, I need to rest.
And give yourself permission to do that. I've
Yeah.
said the whole
Or
thing. For
rejuvenate.
and rejuvenate. And for me, it's sort of taken me a while to realize that yes, the end goals are important, and you see other people's success, and you have your own dreams about what you want to do. But at the same time, I'm learning it's the journey that matters far more. Every single day to live every single day is sort of my mantra, and that's hard for people because you see so much temptation. I mean, for example, you are a celebrity in the world of television and film in your own rights, and you come from what one would call theatrical or Hollywood royalty, having grown up with such a powerful, amazing father, and yet living in that image of your father and presenting to the world this very positive, I grew up in this world, I've navigated in this world, I've done major television, major movies, and yet people look and say, but how could she be struggling? How is that possible?
Because we compare, we grow, listen, we are a society that always compares, right? We always compare the people that live in the house above the tracks, the people that so-called live below the tracks. Our everything that we watch, whether it's media, whether it's whatever, is all about amassing more stuff. And so we're caught in that if we have, then we're well off. And it's rare that we ever concentrate on, are we happy? Then we're fully abundant and well off. Are we, am I happy as a mom watching my 17-year-old grow up, becoming a great woman, getting ready to go off to college, having experiences that I'm offering to her because I want her to be better than myself and to enjoy life, And also recognizing she's 17 and wants to have the right genes, like in the right shoes. And saying to her, but is that in the scheme of things, is it all important? Where it comes from, as long as you feel good, look good.
Yeah.
And, as grown-ups, do we struggle with all that, Bob? Yes,
Yeah.
we do. But the truth is what's here, our mind, body, and spirit is so much more important than the stuff we amass, because once we get stuff, we want more stuff, then we have to take care of the stuff that we have, so, and when we go from this earth, we don't get to take it with us. It collects
Right.
dust somewhere. And I think for me, when having the breast cancer and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die somehow, allowed me to realize that stuff doesn't
Yeah.
matter. What matters is, am I happy? Am I doing the things I want to do? Am I treating people the way I want to? I want people not to remember the stuff I had, what kind of car I drove, or the outfits I wore. I want them to go, she was a great person. Like, I felt something when I was around her.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Rain, and that's really sort of what I think this whole podcast is about, and why it's so important. And I'm so honored to have you as my first guest, and I hope others will follow suit. So I guess if you had to give a word of advice, and sort of recapping on some of the things you've already said, what would that word of advice be to someone who maybe is caught up and they say, "But I can't stop, I can't slow down, I have to accomplish, I have to achieve."
So for the person that's caught up in it, they're going to be caught up until they're done being caught up in it. The only advice I say is go to when you can't go no more. And then my other advice is to be happy is to align your mind, body, and spirit. To be happy is to be authentically okay in your own skin and your own mind. And when you have achieved that, that is when you have made it, and we're all aiming. I think many of us are aiming to be there, to be in that place where we go, we have made it. We are in our Zen. We are in our, what do you call it? The other word for, like,
Nirvana, or
nirvana, or our
yeah,
an ethereal space, our spiritual
right,
space, which means we are authentically one with ourselves. And that is
yeah,
a perfect place to be. And I think that's part of aging. I think that's part of getting older and
sure.
wiser. And, you hear people say, I give 0 Fs at the age of 50 and above. And I think they're right. You don't care anymore.
But young people who might be watching this, listening, they can appreciate that as well. And it sounds, and please, share your thoughts. It's almost like redefining success.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, again, we live in a society that measures success by how big it is. right? How big is your house? How big is your car? How big is your bank account and all those things? But at the end, if you die, you don't get to take any of that with you. So my thing is, what are you doing now to live your best life? Are you taking the trip that you wanted to take? Are you worried if I take the trip and I don't have the money? Then you're going to regret that you never took the trip. Take the trip, eat the cake, go for a walk, smell the roses, go outside, live life, because we even though spiritually, if you live on that level spiritually, you might be destined for whatever, you still don't know what time, what day is your day to go. So live it. Live a
Right.
life. Be happy. Say hi to the strange person. Ask the person who's talking to themselves, who are they talking to? Why not? I
Yeah.
do. And I enjoy it because I think people in general just want to be seen. And we've put, being seen as what, again, how big is your house? How big is your car? How big is your bank account in order to be seen? And really what it's about is the person who emanates peace and love and serenity really are the people we're really mostly attracted to.
Absolutely, and I follow that. I live that. I try to share that. And for me, I joke. A lot of my friends already know. As I say in my intro, a lot of friends already know about the heart attack. And yeah, Bob, we know you had a heart attack. You were gone. Okay, let's move on. But it really was a life changer. I had a faith, a belief, and a lot of people can't find that faith. It's not easy to find that faith. There's a lot of contradiction, but it really does boil down to exactly what you're saying, and I live my life that way. Every human being, every living creature is precious, and I was sort of shown that, and it's the only thing to me that actually makes sense.
Everything's a cycle, Bob. We all cycle, we're all going to go through our days of, like, everything's rising up, and then it kind of settles, and then it goes down a little, and then we worry, and then, oh my God, life, and it's a struggle or whatever. And I think that's for me when I really have to practice what I believe. Believe it or not, like when I get there. And it still doesn't mean I don't have my doubts. It still doesn't mean I don't go through that. I go through it. The thing is, I just don't sit in it for long. That's just me. I don't sit in it for long. I choose not to sit in it for long periods of time, because my experience has always told me the thing I don't get is the thing I'm not supposed to get. The thing that I get is the thing I'm supposed to get, and it's usually better than the thing I wanted in the first place.
You're right. You don't realize it until it comes upon, like, this is exactly where, and it's sort of letting go. I've learned to sort of let go and let the flow of life take me to where I need to be. There's a plan. Of course, there's a plan. You work hard, like you say, every day. If your back hurts, your feet hurt. But there's a plan that somehow you have to sort of let go as well, you know?
You do have to let go, and then it happens. And even in my practice of EFI, it really teaches us that, because you can do a ritual ebo and do your prescriptive thing that EFA gives you to do to make whatever the thing is that you wanted to have happen. And it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes it takes a long time. And then you'll say, it's like there's stories where people blame the Babalao and they blame the da da da. Well, it's not happening fast enough. You must have done something wrong. And the thing is, spiritual world doesn't work in our time frame. And we've become, because of, our devices, everything's right now. Everything has to happen right now. So if we go to the doctor, we forget that when we go to the doctor when we're sick and we get the prescription, it takes 5 days, 6 days to get better.
Healing,
Like,
healing. Yeah.
everything takes its time. Everything has its course. And some of us, it takes a lifetime to line up
Right.
with our destiny. Some of
Right.
us, it's instantaneous. But we don't know how we came here into the world
Yeah.
and manifest that to go on our journey. But like I
Absolutely.
said, everything I know has happened to me has happened really for the reason it's supposed to in that moment.
Yeah.
And I've learned to go, okay, all right.
So even Rain Pryor with this amazing career, you're saying that life has its ups and downs, and it's not what the world sometimes thinks on the outside for
Yeah,
any of
because all
us.
they see is the finished product. They see the finish of something. They don't see
Yeah.
the 600 auditions you've gone on that you haven't gotten. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't see the callbacks. They're not in the room when it's between, like recently, I had last year I auditioned for something I really wanted, and it went to producers, and it was between me and someone else, and the someone else got it, and I finally saw it on TV and I laughed because the person was not, we didn't look alike at all. We approached the character kind of in the same way, which I thought was interesting. I was like, oh, but the person was older, they were white, it was different. It was just like, okay,
Right.
it wasn't meant for me. And so
Yeah.
you have to, but nobody knows it was like maybe a year of auditions before that one. It's like, so nobody's,
Right.
they don't get the process. It's like, it's not about, yes, the finished process is great. But as a director, I always tell my actors it's the journey. Every
Hmm.
night when they're on the stage, they're presenting something new. It's a new audience. It's a new da da da.
Right.
They're going to laugh in different places. They're going to find, you as an actor are going to find something new. That's how we should be approaching life, right? Every day is a new
Yeah.
discovery. It might be the same motions, it might be routine, but every day is a new discovery of something.
That's beautiful. I absolutely love that. So in wrapping up, or just to, even to say, what's on the plate for Rain Pryor coming up now that we can share, that you'd like, my audience to share, your audience who may watch this to share? What's coming up in one way, personal, professional, otherwise, that you'd like to share?
Well, on a professional level, I'm directing this play Top Dog Underdog that's going to run at Spotlighters Theater in Baltimore, which is one of the first places I went with you, Bob.
Yes, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
What Terry was performing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, blessings to him in the ether world. And so I'm doing that from September to October. And
Okay.
I do a lot of direction. So I'm directing for Coppin State University, and
Great.
then directing a very strange, crazy community piece here in Baltimore that won't happen until May. And then on another level, I'm in process of fried chicken and latkes as a series. And so in dealing with all of that at different levels that I've done it, as you know, all up and down. And my goal is to see the love of my life besides Dave. My daughter, our daughter Lotus, as you know, who calls you Uncle Bob,
Gorgeous
to
Lotus.
see her get into the college that she wants to get into.
College. She was born just yesterday.
I
I
know,
remember.
right? I know. So though that's life. I mean, that's real life. I'm mom, I teach, I direct, I write. I have dreams and goals that I have yet to fully manifest for myself. I believe they will happen. My goal is to return again to Nigeria and complete that journey for myself as well, at some point, and keep going in this life that's full of adventure and unpredictability, you know?
What were we thinking when we said yes? Let's step into this world, whatever,
I know,
however that
right?
happened.
The
I,
agreements we made. Oi.
oi, oi. Well, Rain Pryor, I love you, my darling, and thank you so much for being part of this. I would love to have you back at any time, and I hope this grows. I think with these kinds of messages, I hope that this is going to resonate with people,
It
and
will.
we'll have more like this to uplift and encourage, and we'll make it through anything, right?
Yes, we will. If we can make it there, we'll make it anywhere.
Anywhere. All right, sweetheart. Thank you. I love you. Love to the family. Love to Lolo.
Bye.
So, thank you for joining me here at Gate 24. I hope today's conversation lifted you up and gave you a little perspective, or maybe just reminded you that we're all traveling on this unpredictable road together. And, well, for me, I hope this is just the beginning. I've got many more guests, more stories, and more journeys to share with you in the weeks ahead. So if you'd like to keep boarding with us, keep on this journey, the best way is simple. Please subscribe. Hit that follow button or leave a kind review. I know everybody says it, but it really does help listeners find their way here and to help others. And if you're feeling extra generous or just want to claim some bragging rights, maybe as one of our early producers, one of our producers of this adventure, you'll find a little buy me a coffee link in the description. No obligation, of course, if you don't drink coffee, but every little bit of support will help keep these stories soaring and flying. So again, thank you for listening, for sharing, and for being part of this journey. Until next time, I'm Robert Neal Marshall, and this is Gate 24, Life Now Boarding, Unscripted Journeys. So thank you again for listening, for sharing with your comments, and being part of this journey. So until next time, I'm Robert Neal Marshall, and this is Gate 24, Life Now Boarding, Unscripted Journeys.